Today we're going to take a look at the 2024 presidential map based on the 2022 U.S. House midterm results. So everything is going to be the same. It's still going to be winner take all except in Nebraska and Maine. And we're going to plug in the statewide popular vote for the U.S. House from 2022. It doesn't matter who won each district. We're only going to split Maine and Nebraska. And a couple of things to mention. I know in some states, the statewide popular vote can be a little bit misleading. Sometimes in the general election in certain districts, there's 2 Democrats or 2 Republicans or a third-party candidate, and sometimes there's no opposition at all, so that can skew the results in certain states. But for fun, let's just see what would happen if we take those results and apply it to the upcoming election. So we'll start with the obvious safe states, and these are over a 10-point margin. So we'll start with Joe Biden. He's going to get Hawaii, Washington, and California. He's also going to get Colorado and New Mexico. New Mexico barely over 10 points. He's also going to get Illinois, and in the Northeast, he is going to get Maine's first congressional district, as well as Maine at large. Then Vermont and New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware, and Maryland. For this, we're also going to throw him Washington, D.C. So there's a couple of surprises so far, but let's move on to Donald Trump's safe states. He's going to get all the usual safe states from Idaho and Utah in the west, all the way to West Virginia and South Carolina in the east. But there's a couple of notable exceptions. In this map, we do have some states that did crack double digits. So also going safe for Trump this time, it's going to be Arizona, Texas, Iowa, Ohio, and Florida. And there's one final state that's going to go safe for Trump. That's actually going to be a key Rust Belt state, and it's going to be Wisconsin. The Republicans cleared 55% of the vote in 2022. Now, as I said, this is a little bit misleading because there were 2 districts in this state, and they had either no or minimal opposition from Democrats. So that's why this gets bumped all the way up to safe for Trump. Now, let's go down to the likely states for Biden. Let's start on the East Coast. He's going to get Maine's 2nd congressional district. That's the Jared Golden district, and he won that by over 5 points. Next door, he's also going to get New Hampshire. This was extremely close to 10 points and going safe, but it managed to finish just under 10 and go likely. We're also going to go to New Jersey. This might be a bit of a surprise, but it actually did get down at just under 10 points for the Democrats in 2022, so it's going to go likely for Biden. If we go to the other end of the country, we skipped over Oregon, and that might also be a little surprising, but that was high single digits, so it's going to go likely for Biden. And one more we've got to give to Biden by a likely margin is going to be Alaska. That was also extremely close to going safe. They've got ranked choice voting in the final round. Once you round it, it's just under 10 points, and it's going to go likely for Biden. Now, the likely states for Trump, there's only one of them, and it also might be a surprise, but it's going to be the Keystone State, Pennsylvania. In the end, last time, Republicans did clear 5% in that statewide popular vote in the House. So Trump's going to get those 19 by a likely margin. And last, we're going to go down to the lean states. These are under a 5-point margin. There's no tilt states. Nothing was 1 point or less. So we're going to start with Biden, and he's going to get 3 states. He's going to get Minnesota, Michigan, and Virginia. All those under 5 points last time for the Democrats in the U.S. House. And the remaining electoral votes are going to go to Trump. First, he is going to get Nebraska's 2nd. That's the Don Bacon district. And because they do split their electoral votes, last time Bacon won by low single digits, so Trump is going to get it by a leans. And then he is going to get Nevada. That's a bad congressional map for the Republicans. Last time the GOP won that popular vote by almost 4.5 points. They only got 1 seat out of it, but in this, that translates into a lean margin for Trump. And the last 2 states are in the Sun Belt. Trump is going to get North Carolina and Georgia by lean margins. So in the end, that comes out to 294 for Donald Trump, 244 for Joe Biden. So in this pure hypothetical, Trump gets the win. Of course, I don't think this is actually going to happen. It's a little bit silly. It's just to try to find some way to take that 2022 vote and ascribe it to the upcoming election. I took most of the data from Wikipedia as well as my own data. It's possible there's a small discrepancy, but for the most part, this is it. The biggest problem is in a state like Wisconsin, where some of the data is skewed because there was no opposition in a few of the districts. There's not a lot I could do about that. I'm just taking the data that I had. There's not any significant conclusions you have to draw from this. It's just supposed to be mildly fascinating if you're interested in this kind of data. I was also surprised by Arizona being that red. The same in Pennsylvania, plus Oregon and New Jersey getting down under 10. And we can't forget about Alaska. I've tried to put in all the caveats I can. Republicans did win the U.S. House that year, even though they did underperform expectations. But aside from all that, feel free to draw any of your own conclusions. Of course, it's not going to look like this in the end, but what do you think about these results based on the 2022 U.S. House? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.